generation. Test next generation. So this is the name it has been given it. Now, Testng, this is a particular framework introduced by Cedric Bust. Actually, this guy has been contributed really a great thing for complete test automation, especially from the testing point of view. Now, what actually speaking this particular Testng, let's see this particular point of view. That what is this particular Testng will do for us? I'm just looking for one particular diagram so that it can gives us a lot of information. Mm, at least we can take this one. Actually, that this is not the diagram which usually take it, but I don't means I missed all those particular images. So that's the reason. At least I can take this. So first of all, what is this particular Testng? So as we discussed, Testng is nothing but test next generation. Okay. Now this was introduced by Cedric Bust. Okay, because why we need to know about this one is when you go for means when you have certain doubts in this particular Testng, usually not only in the Testng or in Java, what you'll do, you'll go for the Stack Overflow, right? When you type something, so the Stack Overflow, with this particular Stack Overflow only we will be getting the clarification. Stack Overflow is a forum, so where if you have any questions or anything, so the people will be posting it and then you'll be saying the answers. Now most of the Testng questions would be answered by this particular Bust, Cedric Bust. So now when the founder is giving that particular information, so that would be the authenticated information which you need to take it. So now that is the reason you need to know about who is the founders or who is the members. So when it is Selenium, there are 10 people. So the collaborators and then the founders. So if they have been giving that information, you need to follow. Means that you can authenticate that this is 100% right, because these people will not give the wrong information, right, about their tool. So that's the reason we always should know about the founders of that particular tool in terms of the authentication in these particular forums, because in top forums you can see these particular people has been given the answers for the questions which we have been raised for. That's the reason we should know about this particular founder names. Next thing, what is this Testng? Testng is nothing but it's a framework, test automation framework. What is this particular framework? Once again we are using this particular terminology. See, framework is nothing but already we have been discussed. First, what is framework? Means your human body have a certain framework. Okay, so we will be having hands. So whatever the work we wanted to do, we will be doing with our hands. We have our eyes. Eyes is to means to see the entire world. We have a mouth to talk, and we have our nose to smell. We have our ears to hear. So means everything it is properly set up, and according to that one it will execute and it will give the means the result for us, right? Same way, if you wanted to execute something, so it would be helpful to run any particular activity efficiently and effectively, so that is called a framework. Means for an example, hey, this is the way we will be giving the input to the complete framework, and this is the way you'll be getting the complete output from the framework. So these, to run this one effectively and efficiently, we will be using this particular framework architectures. But when we go for a framework, there is a separate series of framework videos. I think for very long back we have been given this particular framework trainings to the people. So what is a framework and what are the different categories of the framework, how these frameworks came into the market, what is the first frameworks and last frameworks, those all things we have been very detailedly discussed about the frameworks. However, when we go to that particular things, you'll be understanding it. So now when someone asks you, hey, what is this particular Testng, so they will be referring this as a framework or a tool. But what it helpful, whether it is a framework or a tool, what is the purpose of this one is for the test automation. So previously, why we said that this guy has been contributed a lot to the QA community? Because previously we used to have JUnit. All we means even this is what we have been using it for our test automation also. JUnit and NUnit. So these are the different frameworks which it is used for unit testing. Who would be doing the unit testing?
Developer.
Developers. So now for doing the unit testing, the developers will be using these particular frameworks like a JUnit or NUnit. So there are different set of tools which it can be, or different set of tools or frameworks which it can be helpful to do the unit testing. Now we are not left with that particular option for the test automation. Also, we used to use with this particular JUnit previously, JUnit and NUnit and all. It depends upon the language to language, right? So they will be using on it. Now, as soon as this guy focused this particular problem and he has been created this particular tool, our framework, and given to us, and this is absolutely open source. See, that is where, right, he given it for free of cost. Whatever the efforts he has been spent, he might sell it for it this one, but still they have been offered things for free of cost for the community, for the QA community, that these people are struggling a lot. Hey, let's contribute something to them. So this is how they given back to the community for us. So now this particular test automation framework, which it was doing it does really the things amazing. It reduces our work. More than 50 to 60% of work can be reduced with this particular framework tools. Now that is where we have the framework, right? With the help of something, if you are reducing it, for an example, now washing machine. Now you used to wash hours and hours, and you'll be completely strained out. So when we are washing the clothes, now washing machine, just throw these particular cloths, just keep that particular washing machine liquid, and then means we'll be having the perfumes now. So cloth perfumes, give that one, close it. After 1 hour, it wash, it dry, and it gives you the back. So how quick, how it is easy. The same way the Testng framework has also done for us for the test automation. Now, so this is the basic introduction. I don't want to give the years when it is introduced, so that really doesn't matter. So now we need to know that what problem statement it came up, and then how they have been solved that particular problem statement. So that is what really important for us. Now, at this point of time, what are the features of this particular tools? So now we understand Testng, it is nothing but Testng, it is the next generation. Ng means, and then Testng is a tool, means it is a test automation framework of the tool, and it is given by CBoost. And previously we used to use this particular JUnit frameworks and everything for the development of the test automation. In replacement of that one, so now this particular CBoost has Cedric. CBoost means C. We are taking the initial. His full name is Cedric Boost. So Cedric Boost has been introduced this particular tool for us. So this particular tool will help greatly in our test automation. So these are the pointers which we discussed till now. Now let's see the features of it. So now any tool, if we are saying that this is good or bad based upon the features, certain tools it will feel that wow, excellent, right? So you'll have that feel based upon the advantages and the features of that particular tool, right? So now what are the basic features of this one? So we can see the lot of advantages in this one. So last time what I have did is I have been done this complete exercise. I don't know whether we have recorded for this one or not, but however I missed that particular thing. What it covers the almost pointers here, but few things are missing in this one. Let me add what are the pointers it is missing. The first advantage for this particular Testng. So when you take this particular Testng, the basic advantage, I'll first say the important things, and then I'll come back with the other topics also. The first and the foremost important and important features of this one is this particular annotations. Somewhere else we have been heard this particular word annotations, right? Where is that? Where we heard about this annotations?
At the rate
In
override.
method
Excellent.
override.
See, now wherever we see this particular @ symbol, especially in our implementations, we call this as annotations. Now, Testng will give you an excellent annotations, which it will saves your life. Now, the first one, for an example, I don't know for the previous, if someone has been from the batches of 2 batches before, they might be hearing it out. So we will be having 9 annotations for this one. So these annotations, this will means what is this particular annotations? When we go into the details, you'll be understanding. But to give you this particular information, for example, there is a method. Okay, so now for this particular method, there are certain prerequisites and certain post requisites are there. Example, now keep me that, hey, opening the browser, closing the browser. This opens the browser, this close the browser. These two methods I'll call in front of every method. For an example, now what I'll try to do, open the browser and log in. And once after the execution, it should close. Now, my test case is first go and verify the inbox. So what I'll try to do, every time I need to write this method and this method, right? Now what I'll try to do is, I'll add the annotation called before method and after method. After method. Now what the before method will do, I'll write only method once. After method only once. Now I have 4 different test cases. Means I need to validate the inbox, I need to validate the compose mail, I need to validate the spam, and I need to validate the send mail. So these functionalities. Now, when I was validating the inbox, before method, what it will call? It opens, it logs in, go to the home page, and then pass the ball to this. Now inbox will execute and close the browser. This test case is done. Now compose mail. So once again, this open and go to the compose mail, and then it will close this. Now what had happened? So we will be writing method for only once, and you give this particular annotation, and you can use it for 10,000 or 1 lakh methods also you can use for this. So that's the beauty of this particular Testng annotations. Now you have been seen it before method, like we will be having it with the before means I given the order, right? What is it order? What is the order? SCTM. SCTM. Yeah. So before suit, before class, before test, before method. After suit, after class, after test, after method. Remember this SCTM. Okay. Before suit, before class, before test, before method. Same things after class, after suit, and all these things. Don't worry, when we go into the details of this one, we will definitely understand in detail. But as of now, what we are trying to discuss is, we are trying to discuss about the features of this particular test engine. The first and foremost means the feature is this. Now because of this one, it helps us to do a lot of reusability, and this framework will take care. So now when you're given it is as an annotation before method and after method, the framework will take care of it. You don't need to worry about this one at all. So it saves some thousands and thousands of lines of code, reusability, and then calling. See, at least you need to call those particular methods, right? You can define the method and then you need to call every time. But here, there is no need to call them also. You need to call only once, even if it is for 1,000 test cases. See, now when you go for other tools like Cucumber and all, so there you'll be having these advantages in terms of hooks or in terms of background keyword. So those all things would be advantages when we go for other set of tools. But here, from the Testng point of view, the first and foremost advantage is the annotations. This will helps a lot. So there are 9 annotations for us, which we'll be doing on. So we'll go into the details of this one, and then we'll understand and how to do the annotations. We'll be discussing about it. Second advantage, priority. See now, you means for an example, if you go for means for example, you take any your favorite star movie. Okay, so when the star movie was released, always the bunch of people would be rushing. So we'll be going to the fan shows night 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or 4 o'clock. Whenever the shows are there, we'll be running it. There are a bunch of people, but there would be a small door. Can they run at one shot? No. So there should be certain people to control this, control the crowd. Who means allow them one by one inside the theater, right? And then all the people will be entering into the theater, and then they'll be watching the movie, right? The similar pattern. Now you have 1,000 test cases. Out of this particular 1,000 test cases, how these particular test cases need to be executed? So executing this one by one. So executing these particular test cases means controlling of these particular test cases. So which test case need to execute first? Which test case need to be execute next? So these all things can be controlled by the test means this particular Testng tool. So now this have that particular priority. Hey boss, out of this particular 1,000, first test case is this, second test case is this, third test case is this, fourth test case is this, fifth test case is this. Now when you go for flight boarding, so they will be announcing it, right? So in the flight we'll be having the front door and the back door. So now from 1 to 15 they will allow. First they will ask 10 to 15, because as soon as they enter they will go and sit here. So they will allow the 1 to 10 people later last, because these people can easily go and sit. But if they started going here, they will block for the backside people. So that's the reason first they will allow this particular 10 to 15, and then they will allow 1 to 10 when you boarding the flight. So they will be announcing, hey, who are the ticket numbers or the chair numbers having from 10 to 15. So first you can go on board. So they will check, and then they will on board. So they will go and settle down, then they will allow the 1 to 10, so that it is the congestion, it would be controlled, right? The same that controlling the complete things with this particular priorities. It means for every test case they will be having a priority for this one. Hey, first you execute, next you execute, means Testng will control the complete execution. So execution controlling is one of the most important thing. Which test case need to be executed first, which test cases need to be executed second? Because certain test for an in your for just imagine that there is there are two, one application which is the back office, or from the admin side it need to be executed, and then the front end we need to execute it. Means what these particular things will be doing is, so these guys will be preparing, means these guys will prepare certain receipts and certain things. Based upon that particular receipts, you need to execute in the front end, right? For an example, now here you need to create a customer. Once you create the customer, that customer will be displayed in the front end, so that on the first customer you'll select and then you'll proceed further. Means you need to do this particular priority activity. If the customer is not there, what it will happen? These test cases continuously it will fail. So now what we need to do, we need to do these particular things in the back end and come to the front end and do this. So for doing this one, so this is the priority of the test cases. Hey, first you need to execute this test case, and then you need to come to this test case. So giving that particular priority of the test cases would be done with the help of the Testng. This is the second most advantageous things, which is the priority. Okay, so now we discussed on this particular priority also, and then don't worry. Anyways, we'll go into the details of this one. So just now you need to understand why we need to learn Testng. See now, we will be touching very important topics, right? So manual testing, Java, Testng, Maven, and then tool. Means that is the priority which it is given for the Testng. And the next one is groups. Now you'll be having it, right? College days. Hey, this guy is that group man. Hey, this guy is that group man. So you'll be in the college, you'll be having that groups, right? We'll form the groups, or we have the girls group. hey, this particular girls group, and this particular means we'll be having certain different groups, right? Group wars, or nowadays it is very fantasy, and then comics like our political parties, hey, different groups, and unnecessarily they waste the time. They'll not even bother about the country or bother about the state or whatever things. Just they wanted their power and all these things. Okay, anyways, that's out of the box. So we will be having certain groups. These particular groups may form on anything. Now this group may form on the test suits. Hey, whether I wanted the smoke test regression high level, regression medium, regression low level, on these particular things I can form the groups. Or I can go and form the group on module wise of the application. Hey, login functionalities, sign up functionalities, or I wanted to go with the inbox functionality or compose mail functionality, send mail functionality. I can segregate. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, so now when you see this one, so this particular set of groups will be created. Means either the smoke suit, regression high level, medium level, low level, or it can be go for the application module level. So now according to that, they will create these particular groups. Now I can execute group wise, means I'll segregate it and then I'll execute them. Means I have smoke test cases 100, and I have another regression test cases 25 or 30. Now I'll call this particular set of test cases for the execution. So either I can execute the smoke cases, I can execute the regression cases, means grouping of certain test cases under a particular group, having a specified reason for it. Hey, these all belongs to the login functionality, so that all those particular test cases will be executed. Because tomorrow when you do this particular regression testing, if there is certain change in the login, you would be will you execute all the test cases? First you'll be executing whatever the test cases relevance to the login will be executing for that, right? To make sure that there is no impact on that particular thing. So that is the reason this particular groups are really very important, so that I can execute only specific set of test cases which I required. So that is how we do the grouping on this one. So in Cucumber we'll be having the tags. See, now every tool will have similar options. See, now I told you, right, when you use Ola, you'll have the Google Maps. The same Google Maps will have it normal apps. The same Google Maps you'll have it in the Swiggy. Means the same apps may have the similar features, functionalities. It depends upon the tool. Which one you wanted to use it, you can use it. So now in this particular Testng, you have this particular grouping options, so that you can group that particular test cases and then you can call. So you see it, I have a lot of reusability, and I can control which means what is a before test it need to execute, after test it need to execute, or sorry, before method and after method it need to be.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry to distribute. Actually, I share one PPT. I got that PPT. I share in the personal chat. Can you check that too?
Sure. Personal chat means WhatsApp?
No, in the Teams.
Oh. I think this is not the exact one, but still this also will help me a lot, because these we have been prepared very long back, and I failed to store this, but yeah. Okay. So anyways, I'll refer this and this one. So I'll talk the both so that we can cover almost all pointers. Okay. So now this is what the annotations and the priority and then the groups. Now, next one, the XML file. What is this particular XML file? When it comes to this particular XML file, I can compare example, you have your human body, right? Which is the most important part of your body. Every part is really important. So without, even if it is a small finger also, if it is not there, the human body is not complete. But for complete our life, heart is our most important thing, because even see, it depends upon the people. Hey, brain is very important or eyes is very important. Everyone have these things, but as of now, to make our life to live, so the heart and heartbeat is most important, right? So the same way, to run the complete testng framework, xml file is more important. This is called testng xml file. So now in the testng xml file, so this file will controls the everything. This will control the entire features of the testng. So whatever we need to do, hey, I wanted to execute in the groups, I wanted to execute these complete priorities, or whatever I wanted to do it with these things. So those all things would be designed in this particular XML file. XML file is not normal file. So XMLs are nothing but, so here you would be having the tags. So here I think we need to understand about this particular XML files also. I'll not deviate this session, but usually you need to know what would be an XML file. If you see here, XML file is nothing but you'll be passing this particular data, but what you'll be doing is you'll be enclosing with this particular angular symbols, greater than or less than symbol. Now for an example, area, text area. So now there is certain quick course in W3 W3 schools. W3 schools, you can see this. Okay, so now you need to just go through this particular tutorial. So now you can see it, right? The, you know, only till here, Ajax, DOM, these all things are not really required, but at least the basic introduction of this particular HTML, and you don't need to understand and learn all these things, but still you need to know what is this particular things. So now it stands for means a extensible markup language. And then, so now for an example, you wanted to send some notes, so you can see it, right? So it should be in this particular pattern: to, from, head, heading, body, and you open this particular note, and then you are closing this particular note. So these are the basic H means XML which you need to understand, because complete executions and everything would be controlled as part of this particular testng XML file. So this is the heart of the testng. You need to understand thoroughly this one so that you can control everything from here. See, if you wanted to run the fan, it is not that you need to go and wind that particular blades of the fan. So just you need to go and on the switch. So this is the switch for the complete, all the features it need to be executed. So this is the starting point. So now if you put a switch, how the fan rotates, if you make the configurations in this particular XML file, by default, all these things would be enabled and then it can be executed. So that's the reason this particular testng is very, very important. So to control the complete, the complete the features of the testng XML file, will be having this particular testng, and it is easy to do the configurations. Means if you make the configuration change here, it reflects on the entire executions. What level of executions you need to do, how you need to get the debugging logs, everything would be configured. Means whether you need to, how to use your annotates. So means complete annotations, whether I need to do it with a suit level, class level, test level, method level, or you wanted to do with this particular groups, which groups you need to include, which groups you need to exclude, which you wanted to exclude your priorities, everything would be controlled in the testng XML file. This is a configurable file, so where you can do the configurations. Based on these configurations, you'll be making the changes in all these particular sets. So that is how this particular testng XML file will be there, and the features, one of the most important feature for this one. Coming to the next one, parameterization. What do you mean by parameterization? What do you mean by parameterization?
Sending arguments, passing arguments.
Passing argument.
See, means for an example, for any particular thing, for a particular test case or for a particular method. Thank you. So for a particular method, so for a particular method or a particular test case or anything, if you're sending this particular test data to these particular things, so this is called parameterization. So based upon this particular test data, this particular test case or this particular method would be executed, and then it will give me the output. So this is called parameterization. So usually how we are passing our test data? We are passing our test data from the Excel sheets or CSV sheets, or we have the JSON sheets, or we have the means XML or YAML. There are different ways to pass this particular test data. Now, Testng also provides you an option for passing this particular test data, which is called data. What is that?
Provider.
Data providers. With the help of this particular data providers, the Testng will help you to provide this particular parameterization to pass this particular test data for all these particular test cases and the methods. Test cases or methods. There are huge number of tests. For an example, now I wanted to first test with Chrome. I'll pass with this, and I wanted to test it with Firefox. I wanted to test it with Safari. I wanted to test it with Opera. These all set of data can be provided by this particular parameterization. This is what the parameterization. So always you need to remember one thing. If you're hard coding something, that can be useful only for that. But if you make your script generic, so that can be useful for anything. So when you externalize your test data, means passing the test data externalize to this one. What is this called as? Externalizing the test data and passing to the script. What is this called as?
Data driven or keyword?
You're given right answer and wrong answer. Externalizing the test data, passing those particular data to the test scripts for the execution, then this is called as data driven testing, not keyword driven testing. Keyword driven is nothing, that's a different one. So this is purely a data driven testing. See, the name itself, it was saying that data driven means with the help of the data it is driving this. Keyword driven, so that keywords are different. So this makes your script so generic, it not depend upon certain data. It will externalize the data, means you can store the data in any format, but you can use it for your scripts. So that is where it is called as a data driven testing, which it is for with the help of the parameterization. This is one of the most important feature of this particular test engine. And the next important feature is this particular multi-threading concept. Actually, here we need to understand safe Java, Java safe, so those particular topics. But now what this will help you to do it is, all these times what you're doing, you can able to execute one execution. And if you have two class files to be executed, what you have done, one after one you executed. But with the help of this particular Testng, the beauty of this one is you can execute the parallel testing. Parallel execution means I can execute two tests parallelly. Excellent, right? With a parallel execution, you not may understand that what is this parallel. One test case you're executing it, second test case you'll be executing. This is sequential, but executing both the test cases parallelly, then this is called parallel execution. For example, there are 5 test cases. Each test case on average it takes 5 minutes. How much time it will take for this? Come on, guys.
25.
25
Excellent answers, man. 25 minutes. If one test case is taking 5 minutes, 5 test cases will take 25 minutes. Now, I need to wait for the result for 25 minutes. But if I execute them in parallel, within 5 minutes, I can execute everything, all 5 test cases, and I'll get the results, so that I can save 20 minutes of time, right? So that's the beauty of this particular parallel execution. But for doing this one, there are a lot of challenges in terms of the capacity of the system, or all these things it need be there. But when we're discussing on this particular parallel execution and the things, we'll be talking about this. Okay, so this is what the multi-threading execution or the parallel execution. The next one is, all these days we will be seeing, means if you get particular output, where you are seeing your output, where you are seeing your outputs.
Console.
Console.
In the console you are seeing your outputs. But now what it will do is, now you will be entering into a new zone, which is HTML reports. Means it will generate, see now these are the HTML files, right? This is the HTML page. The same way, now you can see that complete HTML reports also by this one. Excellent beautification of the reports. How many test cases are passed? How many test cases are failed? Everything in detail, we can see it. Example, now let me share certain things over here, so that you can see that how beautifully you can see that reports. Test automation reports. See, for an example, this is one of the project which we have been executed. Now, if you see here, I can change into the theme black. Yeah. Now, if you see here, this is what the number of test cases, you can see it, right? If I hover this one, how many test cases are passed? How many test cases are failed? I can see that 59 test cases are passed, 59 test cases are failed. So pass, fail, these all informations. And this is the timeline, means I have been executed, means how many overall number of test cases I have. So 59 plus 31, 90 test cases are there. Out of 90 test cases, which test cases taking, there will be having 90 boxes. Now you can see that which is a bigger box, that particular test case taken more amount of time. So I can identify quickly which is I can see that, right, which color is expanding more, so I can hover on this. The next one is here, I can see the total number of test cases. Now you can see this is a very long report when I was working for the Decathlon project. So that is a report. So that's the ending of the project which we have been taken up. So at that point of time, so what is a date, and when, what is the execution time, and execution start time, ending time, how much time it has been taken for the execution. Now overall how many test cases we have. So this is gives you 59 test cases are passed, 31 test cases are failed. This is what the pass percentage. Now for which client we have been executed, details of the environment, browser, and the browser version. Now what is the current browser version? Team, what is the current browser version? This should be on your fingertips.
In Chrome, it is 115 dots.
117 for Chrome.
117 is the latest version. So, but in use 116. Okay, so now here you can see the different versions. See now, for an example, if I wanted to execute the smoke test cases or regression test cases, I'll be having the set of test cases here. Now, when I have been clicked this particular test cases, I can get the complete set of details. You believe it or not, so we used to do very complex scenarios. Now you'll not even understand the complexity. So we used to, means one workflow, they will be defined as in such a way that first we'll open the browser, and then we will search for a product, and we will select, once we get the list, we'll select that particular product. We will get the size of the product and then color of that particular product, and then we will be checking out. So there we'll do the login, and then we want, when you're checking out, then we'll be doing the payment. So once after the payment, then it will be giving me thank you page. Now here the story starts. Now once after this one, immediately we need to go and see in the mobile, whether this particular order is placed successfully or not, because this we do it in the web. Now we'll be shifting it to the mobile, and we will see that whether we have been placed the order or not. Now from this particular order, we will be seeing the order status. Now immediately we will go to the nearest warehouses. Now what are the warehouses we have it? Example, now in Chennai, what are the warehouses? Nearest warehouse, first we'll take the address, right? Based upon this address, what are the warehouses it is available? Now nearest warehouse will go, and then for an example, I'm checking for the boxing glove. So this particular boxing glove with this particular size and color, it is available in this warehouse or not. If it is not available here, next warehouse we'll go check here. If it is not available, next warehouse we'll check here, and if it is available, then we take this inventory, and inventory will decrease this one, and then we will add this particular boxing gloves over here. Now this particular status should be reflected that this particular order is received and accepted. So because once you have the product only, then only we can save this one, or else we'll be refunding back this. Now once the order is selected, then this particular OMS would be started for us, order management system. So now in the order management system, so now this should be shifted to the nearest facility. So facility is nothing but so the warehouse where the people can come and pick it up. So shifting means transferring to the warehouse. So when you go for your order, so it will show you all these things transferred yesterday on this particular thing. So we will be we'll be validating that. So once it is tracking that one, then we will be the delivery boy has been picked up and out for the delivery, and then it is delivered. So customer received. So now here it will be signed. So now these all statuses I'll be validating in the mobile, and in the backend I'll be validating with this particular APIs. I need to go and change this particular API call, and this API call will go and change in the DB. I need to go to the DB and validate all these particular statuses, because this particular API call will change this. Every time I need to make this call, I need to go and verify this API call was reflecting in this one, and this is reflecting, then I need to come to the mobile, and I need to come and then verify this particular flow is working or not. Now once this is done and delivered, now the customer received this, right? Now customer will initiate the RMS, return management system. Means he rejects this particular piece on whatever the reason he might be. Means there will be certain reasons. The product is not the defective product, or the quality which I ordered it is not shown as the image. Like selecting that particular reason. So now the same thing I need to go and verify in the DB again. So now here rejected, and then giving the time slot for this one, whether that API triggered or not. Once it is received this particular time slot, so based upon this particular time slot, it is rejected or not. So once it is rejected, the delivery partner need to be assigned. Once the delivery partner is assigned, then that particular delivery partner need to come and then pick it up. So once he pick it up, so then he need to get the signature from the customer, and then he need to close this particular ticket, and then this is need to send it back to the warehouse. In the warehouse, this particular product would be received, and then from the warehouse, it need to be dispatched back to the vendor who has been done it on it. This is how. Now you see it, right? This is one workflow. Like this, they used to give us the workflows. In this one, I need to shift from web, API, mobile, database. So continuous jumping here, there, here, there, here, there, here, there. But that gives us a lot of extensive knowledge. And the people who worked in this particular project, none of the people are here with us now. That gives an extensive information. Means you need to know web automation, API automation, mobile automation, everything you need to work on it. And the guy who coordinated with us, his name is Bharat. He used to give nightmares to me. And the worst part is he is non-technical guy. Even now he calls me. So he is now heading from the UK Decathlon. Okay, so why I'm saying you this particular part is to do these all things. There also this particular test engine plays a vital role. And these particular reports and HTML, these will helps us a lot. And this also gives you an extensive informations. I think here, I don't know whether they have this particular screenshots. See, these are the screenshots where exactly it failed, how it is failed. And we used to have the video recordings of this, screenshots, video recordings. So this is how we will be reporting the failure. Now you can see this is what the error message you'll be having it, right? So these are all the console messages, and these are the error messages, and this is what the report. and you'll be having it. And these all things you'll be doing it now. So when you're seeing the, wow, this is fancy. Now for the existing people, you ask them, hey, every day this is a routine work for me. So these all things can be achieved with the help of this particular tool, which is what the Testng, the reports. And most importantly, this have inbuilt exceptions handling. So this Testng handles the exceptions inbuilt. If certain things went wrong, so the framework have the capability to handle them in inbuilt. So the exception handling, we have been discussed a very details about these exception handlings, right? So those handlings are also done by within the framework itself. And two most important things which it is missing in the features is, one thing is listeners. So this is one of the most important feature. Listeners are nothing but it will listen to you. Means it was means whatever you are trying to say, it will try to listen for you. Now what it will try to do is, hey, when a test case fail, what I need to do? When a test case pass, what I need to do? When a test case skipped, what I need to do? So those all things would be handled as part of listeners. Anyways, that's one of the wonderful feature of this. And the next feature is about retries. Actually, that's the most important things which many of the people will not add that. So what is this retry is? If something is failed for any other reason, we don't know, because of the network issue, because of whatever issue that particular test case failed, then it will re-execute that particular test case and see, hey, because of any mistake it has been failed or not. It will checks for you. That is called retry. So now these all the best features of the test engine. You have a lot of other features also, but these are the prominent and very important features of the test engine. Now you see it. If you learn, this is the framework integrated with the Java. That's it. Almost all you are learning the framework now. Okay. So now what I wanted to do is, I wanted you people to go back and then see the videos of these three: annotations, priority, and the groups. Go back, see these videos, do the implementation, and then come back for tomorrow's session. Let's make this one a little bit faster. So because I tell you, right, so when you go to the details of this one, it takes huge amount of time to spend this. So now let's make it our velocity increased a bit. We'll go a little bit speed now. Okay, so annotations, priorities, and groups. So these three things you need to implement tomorrow and then come back and then show it to me. Okay, so before coming to me, so I think I'll allocate means anyone, so Shashi or Leela, you guys just need to, before coming to the session, so they need to means even you can take the help of Pina also. So you people can validate what the people has been implemented on this.
Sure.
Okay, implementation part you take care of it, so that once as soon as I get into the call, so that I can validate whether I can just start the session rather than the validating it, because most of my time will go in this validations. You do the validations for 15 minutes or 20 minutes that everyone is doing this one, and what the corrections you wanted to give it, you give it, so that as soon as I enter into the session, we'll be going quicker and faster. And if I wanted to, means if there is any particular slight changes in the timings, I'll keep you posted, because it is overlapping for me a meeting at 10 o'clock. So always I'm getting delay for that. I might change this particular time slot, but I'll keep you posted on this. But in the meantime, so for tomorrow's session, you need to do this and then come back.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, that's it for today. So thank you so much for all your time, and let's connect back for tomorrow on this. See you all. Have a great day. Bye.